So, just what the heck is philosophy? Well, it comes from an ancient Greek word, philosophia, which itself is made out of two different words. The first, philo, just means love. So you see that in other English words like bibliophile, someone who loves books, a francophile who loves French stuff, or even Philadelphia. The name Philadelphia means the city of brotherly love. So philosophy is philo, love, of Sophia. Sophia means wisdom. Sophia is also comes down to us in the name Sophia. So philosophers, we are quite literally lovers of wisdom. Well, okay, what's wisdom? Well, a good gloss on that is that wisdom is just knowledge of what is true and what is good. So philosophers are lovers of truth and goodness for their own sake. All right, so what the heck are truth and goodness? Good philosophical question. By truth, I just mean knowledge of how things are as opposed to merely how they appear to be. So we all know that reality sometimes differs from how things appear to be. So, for example, in the left-hand image over here, it certainly probably appears to most of you that the image is moving, but I assure you there is nothing animated on your screen right now. Nothing in that image is moving. It appears to be moving, but the truth is it's not. Similarly, that image in the middle there, the top line, the top horizontal line, probably appears to be longer than the bottom horizontal line to you. But if you look at the two vertical lines going between them, you see that in reality, those two lines are exactly the same length, even though they appear to be different lengths. And then, of course, there's the dress, which appears to some people to be white and gold and others to be blue and black. And so we can ask, given that it appears different ways to different people, what is the truth of what the color is that's really appearing on your screen there? So that's truth. Philosophers want to know how things are. We also want to know what goodness is. And by that, I just mean, well, how things ought to be or how things should be as opposed to how they actually are. So we all know that the world is full of people who do mean things and harm others, and yet it shouldn't be, right? We shouldn't be beating up people on the bus. We should be being kind and friendly and getting along on the bus. And so we can study how things ought to be independently from how things actually are. And philosophers care about learning about these things for their own sakes. So this differs from a different way that some people care about truth and goodness. So, for example, some people might care about whether a place setting ought to be arranged a certain way or not because they care about it for its own sake, but simply because they want to impress someone else. They care about whether the fork should be on the left or the right because they've got this further goal of impressing someone else. But philosophers, we care about what is good or bad, right or wrong, just for the sake of having that knowledge itself. Similarly, there's lots of folks, engineers, for example, who care about truth, but they care about truth because it will help them achieve some other goal. So you might have a goal of getting a rocket to the moon. Well, in order to achieve that goal, it might be really useful for you to know the truth about how the moon goes around the earth and various facts about how physics work. But philosophers, we don't have any other secondary goals in mind. We just want to know the truth about how things are for its own sake. So that's what philosophy involves. Now, there are different divisions of philosophy that kind of corded off the different sorts of things that we study. So one division of philosophy is metaphysics, and that's the area of philosophy where we ask questions about what exists. So if you think back to that dress illusion, you might start wondering, well, gosh, if some people view that dress as white and other people view it as blue, might it be that colors just don't exist in the first place? Maybe colors are just mere appearances, but colors don't even exist in reality at all. And then you might wonder, well, what is reality? Whoa. Well, those are all questions about metaphysics. Epistemology, these are questions about the nature of knowledge. How is it that we know anything at all? You might start wondering, well, gosh, if it's true that two different lines can look to be different lengths, and yet as a matter of fact, they're the same length, or if it looks as though something is moving, whereas in reality it's not, how can I be so sure that just because it looks like there's a table in front of me right now, that there actually is a table in front of me right now? How do I know that? Those are questions of epistemology. And then finally, there are these areas of value theory. Which is further divided up into ethics, the study of, well, what's morally good and bad, and aesthetics, the study of what might be artistically or perceptually good or beautiful or ugly, for that matter. So clearly in this course, we're going to be focusing mostly on value theory, but we will also learn a fair amount about metaphysics and epistemology as we go along, because those are going to be pertinent for learning about value theory as well. And the way we're going to do this is just by asking why a whole lot. One of the things I love about philosophy is that it doesn't require any pre-existing knowledge or any special talent. It just involves a willingness to ask questions and examine the reasons why something might be true or false. So what we're going to be doing is taking a look at claims that philosophers make about how things are, and what is good and what is bad, and then looking to see what reasons there are to think that those claims are true, and what reasons there are to think that those claims are false. And that's what those reading discussion assignments and perusal are designed to do, to give you a practical education in practicing how to make claims and how to give reasons for and against certain claims. We're going to be asking why and seeing what answers we could come up with to those questions. In just a bit, I'll give you another video that goes into more detail about exactly what sorts of claims we'll be examining in this class.